Hey, how are you?
I enjoy watching your videos where you're going crazy. So, I want to understand your position on transgender people better.
Sure.
So, as you're probably aware, the genitals and the brain form two separate stages. And based on the amount of hormone, which is usually triggered by the chromosomes that are produced to the genitals, it's either male or female.
Right.
Whether or not that is also, since the brain is in a separate phase, it's possible that hormones can influence that, but it's also plausible that it may not be. So I'm wondering, from your perspective, there's not some studies like Milton Diamond one where they injected female biological rats with testosterone in the brain, and just during your brain stage, and these rats, started talking transgender, but
right.
At least lesbians of the tribe of each other.
Okay.
So there's some indication of hormones being influenced there. So my question for you is, if hypothetically you had a male brain that was put in a female body, what pronouns would you use for this person?
First of all, I think that we'd have to have better science determining what constitutes a quote-unquote female brain versus a male brain, because brain science is really underdeveloped in this particular area. But assuming in the future that they come up with a strict definition, which I think is rather unlikely. But assuming that, let's assume you're hypothetical, because it's a fun hypothetical. So they somehow create a brain-swapping mechanism, and Kylie Jenner's brain ends up in Caitlyn Jenner's body, right? Okay, or body 3 years ago. That's the hypothetical. So the answer there is that I think that a more technical definition would probably be that the person is intersex, because now you're looking at a person who has a biological basis for their intersex behavior, right? They have genitals of one type, and they have a biology that dictates that their brain is functioning in another way. But to suggest that they're a full-fledged woman is not the case, because chromosomes still determine how your sex develops. The strict biological definition is strictly chromosome-based. I mean, if you talk to a doctor or a scientist and you say, is this person male or female, they'll give you a blood test, they'll look at your chromosomes, and they will say this person is male or female. If you're talking about something else, then you could be talking about somebody who's intersex. The argument that it seems to me a lot of transgender folks are making is not that they actually have to demonstrate anything objectively verifiable in order to claim transgenderism. And this is where you run into some problems, right? Not that we run a brain scan and we determine that you have a brain that looks more like a female brain than a male brain, but that without running a brain scan, if you claim or if you think that you're a member of the other sex, we now invariably have to call you a member of the other sex. That is an argument that proves way too much and is far too malleable for me. So if you want to create a separate set of pronouns that apply to people who have this hypothetical problem that you're talking about, I'm fine with this extra set of pronouns that you want to talk about, but I'm not comfortable with saying that a biological male is a she. Because a biological male is not a she, a biological male is a he.
Yeah, I saw your interview where the person put their hands around your neck. I agree that there are cases where...
Yeah, that was a little bit over the top. That night did not go as I planned. I mean, at least ask me on a date first. And I also, quick other note, I think that one of the problems here is that people, when they talk about, gendered brain, for example, this is why I keep saying we need some sort of objective test if we're going to talk about this, like an objectively verifiable test that you can look at a brain scan or something. Because otherwise, you get really quickly into very anti-feminist things, like, it's a male, but he's a very effeminate male, right? They'll say things like this, right? They'll say his gender is female because he's very effeminate. Well, that's actually really stereotypical. Well, he likes cooking and sewing and stuff. Like, that seems kind of like feminists might have a problem with that. So there are two problems with these brain scan studies, which I see. So the brain scan study, the first problem is that they are very, very small sample size, and also they're self-selected. So you have a bunch of people coming in and saying, I'm transgender, scan my brain. You can't do a study that way. What you have to do is you have to take a cross-section of people, you have to have a control group, you have to have a cross-section of people who are not transgendered also. And then you need to see, okay, if there's somebody in the non-transgender community who has the same brain scan but is not transgender, that sort of debunks the argument. And they haven't really done that. Well, if you have the study, send it to me and I'm happy to take a look at it. That's fine. I'm happy to take a look at it. The sample sizes are incredibly small. And finally, brain scans, as I say, they need to get a lot more sophisticated before I'm willing to buy this argument, because brain scans are notoriously difficult to remember. My wife being a doctor, we talk about this kind of stuff a lot. And brain scans, they still are trying to figure out the particular function of parts of the brain. So the idea that female biology comes down to a random part of the brain that we haven't even identified what it does yet. This is why brain surgery is so difficult. This is so. Listen, as the science develops, I'm willing to hear arguments about using a new set of pronouns to address people who have an objectively verifiable brain scan, for example. But I'm not willing to hear that Caitlyn Jenner, who spent his entire life as Bruce Jenner, is now a woman, without any further evidence other than Caitlyn Jenner saying he's a woman. That's not correct. And by the way, even if he had a brain scan that said differently, he'd still be a man with this particular problem. He'd be a biological man with a female brain, if your hypothetical is true, and let's be specific about our language. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.